Welcome back! We are here with the finals of Big Thursday Night Modern at Magic Corner, Vienna. My name is Michael and joining me is Walter. So straight to the deck. On the left we have Benny playing his Bloodbraid JUND deck, and on the right we have Yuri playing Affinity. We've already seen both players and already did a deck about it. But here we go again. So Walter, let's get started.
Yeah, so Benny is playing Jading Comparison's JUND list, which he used to top 8 of recent Star City Open. It's a very balanced, nice, well-designed JUND list, which has the special feature of not playing the card Terminate at all in the main deck, and it goes for other more flexible removal spells instead. Removal very important here against the Affinity deck. Access to 2 Abrupt Decays and 2 Maelstrom Pulses, which can hit all the artifacts like Cranial Plating. And then Kolagan's Command, just one off in the main deck, but very, very potent. And 3 Lightning Bolts and 2 Fatal Pushes for early interaction. And then a bunch of threats, usually JUND threats, with Goyfs and Bobs and 4 Bloodbraid Elves, which are not at the best here in the matchup, because tapping out on 4 might just be a recipe to going to the next game or losing the match immediately. But there are situations where you get to use them. 25 lands, lots of creature lands, also not the best matchup for those creature lands. Might be annoying to have them enter the battlefield tapped, but still generally a lot of nice tools for JUND here in this matchup. So what's got Yuri brought to the table with his Affinity list here, Michi?
As I've mentioned before, he's playing a split of 2 Edge Champion and 3 Master of Ethereum. And with his land base, he's splitting up between 2 Glimmer Void and 2 Spire of Industry. And the really nice thing is, and the reason why he is not playing a mountain in his deck, are 3 Stubborn Denial in his main deck, which basically are 4 Spike for non-creature spells, but with Ferocity. This means if you got a creature with power 4 or more in play, he can counter a non-creature spell directly. So this is nice. He also got 1 Welding Jar, 3 Memnite, which really downshine in this matchup, but he's not playing any Galvanic Blast, so he cannot handle early threats from his opponent or early card advantage like Dark Confidant. But Dark Confidant might be also a little dangerous here, because Yuri with his Affinity is pretty fast at dealing damage. And we will see how this match turns out.
Yeah, stop.
So both players are shuffling up the deck, and we are soon to see a dice roll here. Yuri is grabbing 2 dices, and what will he roll? It's a 3. Wow.
I really hope
low.
Yuri will never grab dice, because then you probably should see his doctor. Might have been something to do with ingestion of objects he should not ingest. But yeah, we're in Austria here. We are very, very bad at distinguishing between B's and P's and T's and D's, so we're sorry for that. But if you get a laugh out of our pronunciation mistakes and little mess-ups and Austrianisms, that's good too. Yeah, he's grabbing his dice and he just rolled a 3, so Benny's on the play here, right?
Yes, Benny's on the play, which is really great for him. It's a good matchup for Benny, I would say, for JUND. And the Affinity player, Yuri here, would have really liked to start the game as usual in Modern. But we do see one of the lands you mentioned before, one of the manlands, it enters the battlefield tapped. So no Lightning Bolt first turn here from Benny, and no other shenanigans.
But on the play, deploying that tap land is great, because now he has access to something, and you don't want to bolt a Vault Scourge on turn 1 anyways. You want to save your bolts for the more important threats. Steel Overseer, very annoying. You need to get rid of those Ravagers before they can get too much value out of them. Also, creatures equipped with Cranial Platings are creatures you have to kill. But yeah, here Benny will probably have a discard spell, an Inquisition, which is very nice if he has access to a bolt here too. We see a Stubborn Denial, you mentioned Michi, the other Vault Scourge is Benny's reading Stubborn Denial here, then a Steel Overseer and a Plating here. So I think here you probably either take the Denial, the Plating. I don't think you take the Overseer, he's taking the Plating. The problem here now is that if the Overseer gets deployed and Benny has access to a Lightning Bolt, he'll just run into the 4 Spike.
It doesn't run into the Frostbite because he can see the Stubborn Denial in Yuri's hand.
Yeah, but
So
that just means
not.
he cannot play
No.
the Bolt and he loses tempo, which is still not great for him. But the plating, taking the plating probably means he doesn't have access to an Abrupt Decay, but I agree, on average plating is the threat that the least cards in his deck interact with well.
Yeah, he got basically 5 cards to kill this threat. 2 Maelstrom Balls, 2 Abrupt Decay, 1 Colorgun's Command.
Sure, and only 1 Kundegraber's command here. Kundegraber's command clank in a lot of matchups, but here it shines. But this list Ben is using here is only playing 1, which might come back to bite him here because additional Kundegraber's commands are great.
So we see the Steel Overseer here being deployed by
And
Yuri.
Metalcraft.
And Metalcraft, of course, and now the Mox Opal is active, can generate blue mana for his Stubborn Denial, so Benny doesn't...
Did he have the lightning bolt? No, he did not have a lightning bolt. Anyways, I think he's got quite a few lands here. Let's see what he does here. He will... Yeah, that Slice has a fatal push for the Overseer. So the situation right now is looking very good for Benny. He would love to deploy either a Dark Confident or a Tarmogoyf here, but he does not have it. He has Bloodbraid Elf in hand though, which he gets to deploy next turn. At least provided that Yuri does not put a lot of additional pressure on him. But we'll see what Yuri has here.
He drew a Glimmerwhite. This does not look great for Yuri. Mox Opal
Ben
is
is
not
like, okay,
active
it's not
anymore.
active now, but it will be active if any artifact enters the battlefield, which I assume it will.
No,
we still have
2
that
artifacts.
Stauder.
So, no, any artifact.
Mox
really,
Opal is also an artifact itself, otherwise it would be not very good. I'm also very, very much looking forward to some of those. I mean, it's not Mox Opal, but in Dominaria there will be Mox Ember, if you have seen the spoilers, which adds mana for legendaries, so that's a very nice card. 2, a new Mox that might be playable in Modern, yeah. It's a Mox, and if you have a legendary permanent, you get to add it. You can play it with Kithion and Izomaru, Hound of Condor, in some sweet mini deck. Looks good. I haven't brewed any of that, but it definitely people will try out sweet stuff with that Modern. But right now, Mox Opal is the Mox in Modern. And Benny has a fatal push here. Getting rid of the land here, because the land is the one that is more annoying and harder to get rid of, and he has to use his mana here, because he wants to deploy the Bloodbraid next turn, and he has to play around that Stubborn Denial. The thing with the Bloodbraid is, if the Bloodbraid hits any non-creature spell,
like
that
Liliana,
will still get stopped, but at least it's still a 2-for-1 for him, so that's okay. Still like Benny's situation, I agree with his decision to fatal push here.
Yes,
sorry, now I did it.
Happens. Well, I agree with what you were saying, and I think if he doesn't have anything better, now it's the time to deploy a Bloodbraid Elf, because he needs to get rid of the counter in his opponent's hand, or maybe he got something better to play. Maybe he got Liliana the Last Hope in hand, and this would be just nuts.
No, it's just Bloodbraid.
But it's Bloodbraid Elf, which is also fine.
Should hit Bob or Goy for something.
Oh, Fatsis. Fatsis will most likely resolve.
Yeah, you wanna cast it. Thought's is not the worst here. Thought's is at least gets rid of that Stubborn Denial. Thought's is okay. Yep. It's better than it looks here as a hit. Obviously, Bloodbraid swinging in, not doing any blocking against those flying lifelinking Vault Scourges. And now Yuri is hellbent, and Benny has quite a few cards left in hand. But Yuri, if he draws something here, it's hard. Otherwise, Benny is well positioned here. Like that life swing, it's slow and steady. And Ornithopter is not what Yuri was looking for here.
No, really not. Master of Ethereum, Steel Overseer, Arcbound Ravager, all better cards, or Edge Champion.
Even Signal Pest, another Vault Scourge, all would have been at least more effective than
way more effective.
Or even a creature land. But now Benny has more lands in hand. Let's see what he can do here with his mana.
He's tapping 2 or not tapping 2, we will see.
He's swinging first.
He's swinging first.
Because he cannot make a big difference, because Yuri is kind of a 6th here. Doesn't do anything, can't do much here, but Ooze is very, very nice here. Ooze is very nice. Ooze races, Ooze gives him life gain, Ooze will grow. He has the ability to fetch up basic forest with this Wooded Foothills here as well.
But there's only one creature in Graveyard, which is the Steel Overseer.
At this point, there will be more soon, at some point. If Benny draws more removal, like Scavenging Ooze is very nice against Affinity here, because your game plan is to kill their creatures. Benny will do it, and then he'll end of Yuri's turn, he'll get a tapped green source, probably a Stomping Ground, because he needs to be able to activate that Raging Ravine 2. Yuri just drew a second Ornithopter for his turn. Still nothing here. So Yuri a bit unfortunate draws here. He had a decent start, but both of his big threats got dismantled. Plating got discarded, Overseer got killed.
But it's still not over for Yuri here, because if he can draw a Master of Ethereum or some other great card, he can easily have an Edge Champion with protection from all colors. He can easily stay back and
I think
block,
Edge Champion is not the best draw here.
No, it's not the best
Edge Champion is worse than all the other big draws at this board because you don't have the plating. So I think but another Bloodbreed here.
Ooh, this is big.
Let's
this
see
is
what he
big turn
hits
for
this
Benny.
time. Spin the wheels.
Oh, it's another
Scavenging Ooze. How convenient. I mean, it's not the best, but it's still, it lets you race. It's
It's
creature.
9 damage on the board here, and only 2 for the backswing from Yuri.
Yeah,
So
I
we
mean,
get
at some
Benny-
point, Ornithopters might have to start jumping, but not this turn, but the following
No.
turn. I think you don't want to block here yet. Is there a creature in the graveyard at this point? No, right?
No, there is no
Okay.
creature in the graveyard, so I would not be eager to block here.
Hmm.
I would restrain from it and block the next turn because there are some few good draws where
Yeah, like Master of
and you
Ethereum,
do
right?
yes, Master of Ethereum, and you do
Or even
not
plating.
want
Is
Benny
plating
to get
lethal on this board? 9. So we've got 3, 5, 6, 7. So plating is lethal on this board. But no plating drawn.
no plating.
I mean,
what
obviously-
has he drawn? No Master of Ethereum 2. It's just a signal pest.
This is nice though. Signal Pest gives him a big
Not the
life swing
reach.
the following turn. But now he's just eating random cards. Why would you eat random cards?
Because
He's
you got
eating a
nothing
land
else to do
because
and
he's
you got no
nothing to
cards in
do.
hand.
As long as you don't make your Tamagotchis worse, it's like,
Yeah.
why not? You don't know. I don't know what Yuri might be playing. Might be playing a sweet Gamek Angler in Affinity. Probably not. but
No, most likely not.
He's
So-
not activating the Raging Ravine though here. So that probably means he
Interesting.
drew some spell that he wants to cast.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Ah, no, he is.
He is active. Yeah, wrong sequencing.
Okay, this is a bit of a weird sequencing, but it's still fine. So he was turning his creature sideways while he was doing it. He was saying, oh, wait, I'll do this too. So yeah, this is still fine. We still
Yes.
have casual Ariel here. Big, quick communication. So we have some jump blocks getting Yuri down to 1. Both Ornithopters are dead. Raging Ravine and the Ooze got jumped. And now Benny also still has another activation up, going up to 8. And I think that at this point, 4, 5, 6, still plating, still lethal.
Yeah, it's still little because
It's
there's
still
also
lethal, yeah.
signal pest on the board, which gives
It's even
other
more than
attacking
lethal,
creatures
yeah.
+1/+0. So if there's a plating here, Yuri will win this game instantly because Benny is hellbent. He cannot do anything.
But
at
there is
this
no
moment.
plating with Yuri, what I was
Nope.
saying. This is the
Master of Ethereum.
This is not
One.
lethal. This means he goes to 1, right?
No. It's lethal.
How?
Or?
3, the Vault Scourges are 3 and the Signal Pest is 1, right?
Yes.
So it's going down to 1.
Yes,
and
it's going down to
this
1.
just means that
Damn.
he'll probably just die on the backswing here.
Yeah.
Because he's going down up to 7. Can block 1 creature here. And this is just lethal on the board here for Benny. If he just goes for the swing with the Raging Ravine again. Yuri was very, very close. Super tight here. Play would have done it. Yuri drew pretty badly. But we see the power of the Affinity deck. I mean, Chant player Benny here. Also not the best draws. But he just has to swing for the win. Let's see if he goes for it.
He needs to go for it because Yuri is also hellbent. Has no 1 mana available, but doesn't matter without any cards where you can use it. So he needs to activate Raging Ravines and swing for the win.
Raging Ravine will get blocked and then 12 damage will go through. Way more than enough. No
Way
way
more.
anything can go wrong here. Yuri has no cards in hand, no mana available, 1 blocker left.
It doesn't even need
Benny
to
will
activate it.
miss sequence again. He's putting the creature on them before attacking, but that's fine. You know what's going on. Yuri will pack it up, and that was game 1. Very close one, right?
This was a really close game because just 1 turn earlier, Master of Ethereum, and things would have looked quite differently. But like this, well, Benny could take the win for him.
Sure, and that's nice because game 1, generally speaking, is the one where Affinity is always the most favored because people bring in hate after that. But before we start with the hate, let's see what Yuri has got to improve the matchup from his side here.
Well, he got one fine little card in his sideboard, which is called Shaper Sanctuary.
Ooh, what does Shaper Sanctuary do? Can you explain us to the viewers?
Well, I'm not quite sure if a creature needs to be targeted, but I think when a creature is targeted by or killed by an opponent's spell...
Targeted,
or
it's targeted, it's definitely targeted.
Okay, sweet. It's targeted by an opponent's spell, you draw a card. It's insane in an Affinity deck where
So
you can
how much
easily
mana does
deploy.
it cost?
It costs 1 green.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it
Nice.
needs.
Sweet enchantment from Ixalan.
Another great card on the play, for example, is Blood Moon. Yuri is now on the play in the next game, and he's playing 2 Blood Moon in his sideboard. And another great card against JUND are the 2 Edge Champion he's playing in his sideboard because they got protection of all colors if you got Metalcraft. So if there are 3 or more artifacts in play. And I would say that's it. These are the sideboard choices for Yuri. Girapur Evil Grid, not that good, I think, in his matchup.
No Stony Silence expected from the JUND deck.
Maybe Rest in Peace, but I'm not quite sure about
I
this.
hate Rest in Peace passionately against JUND from all decks, basically. Very much, not from all decks, but from Affinity. Affinity plays Rest in Peace against Dredge, against the Hollow One decks, against decks that are very, very, very reliant on the graveyard as the main game plan. Against JUND, you just hold some of your cards while you have a card that is neither an artifact nor does damage. I don't like it.
Yes, well, and for the main bot, I think the 3 Lamlets will come out because they do basically nothing. Here, Benny can block all of the ground creatures easily, so flyers matter, and not like 1-1 for 0. So
it's not about speed as much in this matchup here.
Yeah, the deck will still stay kind of speedy because Affinity still will be pretty fast, but he needs some other tools, and Stubborn Denial shine in his matchup, so they will for sure stay in. So, Walter,
yeah,
what
so
will
we
Benny
saw
do?
Benny not being able to pick up his phone call here. Very sad for him, but I'm sure he'll be able to call back wherever wanted to talk to him. After this match, right now, he has to focus on playing Magic. And in order to do that, he's got some options in his sideboard here. He's got a couple nice ones. What is also interesting about this list, one card he does not have access to, it's Ancient Grudge, the Affinity killer in the JUND colors. No copies here in his sideboard.
In Magicon, I made no Ancient Grudge in the sideboard.
He
What is happening?
He just played JD and compares this list straight away. Like we said, it's first time he's playing JUND. He was like, I just take a list that looks great, a solid list, and play this. And probably if he's going to play it again next time, he will adapt to the local meta. But this is a completely fine choice. But I agree. There's not that much affinity at the Magic Corner meta generally. I'm not sure if that's not a right choice.
It depends. 2 to 3 might be possible because
Yuri at this event, Yuri was the only affinity player.
Oh, sweet.
But we have some other nice options here. We have the second Koragan's Command in the sideboard. We've got the one Golgari Charm, which just wipes all creatures. We've got the Liliana, the Last Hope, which is very, very nice. If he wants access to more life gain, Scavenging Ooze, if he wants to have more insurance against the Creature Lands Fulminator Mage, what is definitely amazing is Engineered Explosives. If he just wants very meh, but additional removal, Corrective Protected, he fills that role. And that's basically it. So Golgari Charm, Liliana the Last Hope, Engineered Explosives, and Koragan's Command are complete hits, and then there's some rare cards. In his main deck, Thoughtseize is coming out, Life Loss, and also Slow Affinity dumps the hand very fast. Liliana of the Veil and Dark Confident should be at least trimmed. I generally like Dark Confident in some numbers against Affinity. But yeah, now we're already back to the game and Yuri starts here.
Yeah, with a Springleaf Drum on his turn 1. So, like in the match before, which we covered, not really that fast of a start, and Benny's kind of thinking or saying against something, or looking, did not even have yet chosen to keep his hand. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but we will see soon what Benny's going to do. Yeah, he's going for Verdant Catacombs and passes the turn.
So, can you deduce anything? Can you see anything from Benny's hand? I can see a land, second from the right, and something in the middle looks like it might be
Koragan's Command.
Ooh, Koragan's Command is nice.
I see a Koragan's Command, Tamagotchi, Thoughtseize. Yeah, well,
but
we'll
Yuri, now paying 2 life for that.
Volt Scourge.
Volt Scourge. The thing is, last time we saw Yuri in the first round we covered of that tournament at Magic Corner Vienna, he had a very, very slow turn 1 and a very explosive turns 2 and 3. Let's see if he can do that again. He played this and now he's thinking, does he have a second land? If he has a second land, he can deploy a 2-drop here. If he does not have a second land, there is nothing.
He does not have a second land.
He might have a Stubborn Denial up. But this is like no second land and no play here. Looking decent for Benny at this point. Benny is fetching and he has to think hard here which land is best to get. Because this is very important, early sequencing in the Affinity matchup. And yeah, another phone call missed. Sorry to all of Benny's friends. He has to play the finals here. And yeah, Benny
runs into the Stubborn Denial.
He is failed pushing, which I'm not sure you want to do. And then also Stubborn Denial, which Yuri is basically saying, I have to cast it because what else am I doing? I left mana up for Stubborn Denial, so I have to Stubborn Denial because otherwise nothing's happening here. And the Overgrown Tomb here untapped, going down to 17, so we can deduce that Benny does not have a large number of lands in his hand, because otherwise he might have just been able to go for the basic swamp. Needs the green and black mana with his first land here.
Yes, this is not really good for Benny because he's dropped down 3 left total, but he do see Attack Confident and a Color Guns command in his hand, so he most likely will deploy the Attack Confident here. Is a
Dark Confident on this board on 17 against just one creature is very, very nice. I would recommend deploying the Dark Confident here.
Yes,
Let's
on
see
this
what it
board
does.
for sure.
Like, if you hit a couple of Blood Raids, unfortunate, it sucks, happens, but generally Dark Confident is very, very nice here. But we just see a main phase Abrupt Decay instead of the Dark Confident. I'm
This
not
is
a big fan
interesting.
of this play. I really, really am not a big fan of this play, I have to admit. Another Ward Scourge happening here, and now we see another spell here. I think this is Shaper Sanctuary.
Sweet.
So now at least Benny got to use it, but Benny could have also used it to kill the Sanctuary. But killing the Sanctuary is also always bad, but targeting something with the Sanctuary is not nice too. Also, Sanctuary and Stubborn Denial is a huge combo, because when something is targeted by a removal spell, you get to draw a card. You could draw a Stubborn Denial, you have an additional draw to draw the Stubborn Denial, and then counter it before the spell resolves, because the trigger goes on the stack when the spell is cast.
Yes. So we will see what Benny is going to do here. Is he playing his Color Gun command, which you got in hand?
Nope, because he
Dark
had a
Confident played
Treat of
tapped.
Village which
Sorry,
came into
did not see
play
that.
tapped. And now he's playing the Dark Confident, which I would have liked to see the turn before, just turning around that sequencing we see, because now Edge Champion, no Blood Moon. This is also, wow. If he had played the Dark Confident before, he could have passed with the Abrupt Decay up. In response to the Blood Moon, he could have floated the black and the green mana, and then he could have killed the Blood Moon. But right now, Benny is also
Bloodbraid Elf.
also,
Wow,
yeah,
big
he got
hit here.
Blood Moon and now he's getting Bloodbraid Elf, so this is kind of unfortunate series of events here. The thing is, Benny just can't do anything. He needs to naturally draw his lands, and he has access to 2 swamps and 1 forest, right? After, yeah, 2 swamps, 1 forest. So this is not a lot of cards, and he basically, in order for his deck to fully function, he needs to have access to both.
Of these lands, yes.
Yeah.
And Yuri just can't do anything with his mana base. And
Yuri
he
can't attack with creature lands other than that. He's
No, it
like,
does
I
not
don't
matter.
care. Yeah.
Get another Spring Leaf Drum, and now we're going to see an Archmont Ravager being deployed, which is nuts on this field
Yeah.
currently. Well, big hits coming soon.
Yeah, this is probably over here. 2 very nice enchantments by Yuri to Shape a Sanctuary, which might not even do much, but at least Benny can still cast Lightning Bolts. So those are also taxed here by a card drawn by Yuri, but that Blood Moon is the MVP here.
But if I see you correctly, he does not have any of this in his hand. He got 2 Bloodbraid Elves,
Wow.
Damogryphs, Color Guns Command, and so on. So this is really a bad situation Benny is in.
But he- yeah,
he
that's-
did not
yeah.
he did not watch out for what shenanigans his opponent could bring in after sideboarding, and he directly fell into Shaper Sanctuary, followed up by Blood Moon. Both of the cards are great in this matchup. So it's basically straight going down for Benny here, and to be honest, I think it's over.
This is over.
This is
This
over.
is just over.
This is so over. I'm
If
not
there's
quite
a
sure.
lightning bolt happening, then you just get to eat things with your Ravager. Two lightning bolts might do something here, but they don't do anything because
No,
the Ravager just grows too big. So,
Yeah,
and there are no other interactive cards or any other cards. Lightning bolt is the only card that Benny has access to that is castable with his current mana base.
Yes.
He cannot cast.
And he doesn't have
it's
any in
the
his
only mono red spell. He can also cast Engineered Explosives for 1.
this is true. But he drew a land with his Dark Confident, and I saw another Bloodbraid Elf being naturally drawn,
and
he scoops
scooping
it
it up. So this is something, at least it's a learning opportunity for Benny here, that you have to respect the Blood Moon out of Affinity on
Yeah,
play.
of course.
With a 3-color midrange deck, you have to respect it. If he had played that Dark Confident on turn 2 and then kept up the Abrupt Decay, Yuri would not have been able to play the Blood Moon because Yuri would know that Abrupt Decay is up. And that would have still been a very annoying situation for Benny. But if he at least would have given himself more time to draw fetch lands and get out of this, be able to get around the Blood Moon. Because the Blood Moon has a very, very short window of effectiveness here against JUND. If Benny manages to get into play his basic swamp and his basic forest, then he is safe. The creature lands are turned off, but it doesn't matter. The Affinity's creature lands
Are not that good in
way
this matchup.
better than JUND's creature lands. Do you think there's any play-draw differences in sideboarding now? Do you think Benny is changing anything here after what happened in game 1? In game 2, I mean, sorry.
I hope he doesn't bring in any enchantment removal. Does he have any form of enchantment removal?
He has Golgari Charm, which is great.
Oh
it's
yeah,
enchant removal
it should
and
already
the
be in his main deck. He got Abrupt Decay in his main deck. He just needs to be careful what he does.
There
Now
are
he's
no
on the
crazy
way to-
things in his sideboard like Back to Nature or any other things, which he obviously should not bring in. Those are not in his sideboard. And now we just see the players shuffling up for the next game. Do you think Yuri's Blood Moons are still in his deck for game 3?
I'm not sure.
I
I'm really not sure.
would, if I were Yuri, after I Blood Moon Benny so hard, I would definitely take him out again. I would also try to do that in a moment when Benny is busy shuffling his deck, not looking, thinking that he's doing the same thing. But yeah, I
you're
think
sneaky.
Benny having to play around Blood Moon, if it's not there, is a liability again. It might make his mana-based considerations, fetchland considerations a bit worse and more stringent. But generally speaking, now Benny's on the play again, which is nice. Benny had a really good start here. He had a lot of things to do here. He had a good hand, but he just got Blood Moon. This is just a one-hit KO, basically.
One hit KO. Blood Moon in a draft, you would say. Under specific circumstances, it got 5 points out of 5 stars. Out of 5 stars. Kills your opponent immediately.
Yeah, I mean, this situation is like, game was over after Blood Moon results.
Yes.
Benny was
Basically.
Benny was probably just going, Blood Moon, and he had nothing, he had no basics, and he could have fetched for that swamp on turn 1, but with his hand, he didn't have that third black source, so that would have been nice, and also he didn't know that Yuri was playing Blood Moons, bringing them in, and so on, and you can't, often with the JUND deck, you can't always afford to fetch out those basics early.
No.
Because
Mana
your
is
mana base
very
is
tight.
like this mana base here. The list he's running is very much a black-green rock deck splashing lightning bolt
And Bloodbraid
and
Elf.
Bloodbraid Elf. So it's
What
not
else?
very, very high on red. It's not playing any double red spells. It's not playing a lot of red spells in total. In his whole sideboard, the only red spell he's playing is the second Kundegraber's Command. And in his main deck, he's only playing 9 red spells. 10 red cards and 75. So that's nice, but still he has very high requirements on the green and the black mana. And let's see what happens here in game 3 with the players deciding if they're happy with the starting hands.
Well, I've seen that Benny got 2 lands in his hand, and the other thing is just gas, so he most likely will keep this hand, and I'm not quite sure about Yuri. I see 1 land here.
I see a Blink Monthly, yeah.
Yeah, Blink Moth Nexus out. Both players keep their hands. We see
Benny fetching
Bloodstained
here with the
Mire
Bloodstained
here.
Mire. We'll see if he might go for the basic Swamp now after that Blood Mooning
Yes.
in the first game. And Ornithopter again, no, Yuri. He is undefeated and now is 1-1, and all the games we've seen him, no huge hand dumping turn 1s, also keeping the second Ornithopter in hand because there's just no point committing it to the board now. Inquisition, yeah, sure, 2 more Ornithopters.
Champion.
Edge Champion or Plating, it depends. You probably have to take the Champion here and hopefully have access to an answer to the Plating, but
Yeah,
the
he's
Champion
playing
is just
2
huge.
Colagans Command, 2 Abrupt Decay.
He's playing 6 answers to the 6 answers
Yeah,
to the
2
Plating.
Maelstrom Pulse. So I would for sure take here the Edge Champion because it's just nuts. But he's going to take the Crane Plating, which could have been deployed.
If
turn
it
2
doesn't
here.
have an answer in hand, the Plating kills super fast in his hand with 3 Ornithopters.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just saw 3 Ornithopters. So yeah, plating is pretty insane if it doesn't
Like
have Maelstrom
both,
Pulse.
Benny would have loved to take both of those cards. Maybe he
Yep.
has a second Inquisition to follow it up. That would be great for him, but probably not because otherwise he would have just tell Yuri, hey, leave it here, I'm playing another one. He's just passing here. The thing is, now it's race. Benny
Oh,
needs
Yuri
to do
drew another
something.
cranial plating here.
Oh.
Yuri, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Insane.
that's the most tilting thing. You discard a card, and then right off the top the same one. It's like
But
that's
do you
one of the few
think
bad
that
moments.
Yuri isn't going to deploy more Ornithopters? Or, at least 1 Ornithopter because he's afraid of Maelstrom Pulse.
Why would he deploy the Ornithopters in this turn? I would have kept both Ornithopters.
Yeah, I
in
would
hand.
have kept both Ornithopters in hand too because it doesn't really matter. And for the
I mean,
damage,
Maelstrom
it's okay.
Pulse is not gonna kill it. If you deploy
No.
3 Ornithopters, you might want to kill the Ornithopters. With 2, you still want to
No,
kill
but
the
no,
Plating.
cranial plating. But
Benny, no
No
third
land
land
draw.
drop here, right?
no, I do not see a land in Benny's hand.
Wow. What does
But
he
I do
have
see
here?
a Colagans Command, I see.
What? Do you see any customer spells? I also see Liliana of the Veil to the left of his hand here, which is not great here.
Tamagotchis. I see 2 Tamagotchis.
Oh, but he has to go down to 16
Yes.
to deploy Tamagotchi, and then he is going to. We have 4 artifacts in play.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Bob,
Tamagotchi. Ah, Dark Confident, I'm sorry.
Tamaball, the best. It's both in one. That would be
Yes.
nice. But yeah, Yuri is threatening
My
a
pet
lot
card.
of damage. With the additional Ornithopter, it's 5 artifacts. Blinkmoth can turn into a 6th artifact. Other Nexus can turn into a 7th artifact. So we're speaking about a potential 16-point life swing here with that
What?
Scourge.
Insane.
That is kind of nice,
Yes.
Also that Bob and also Benny had to take 3 here because he sure you can only take 1, but then you don't have green mana. And
No,
this is also not
did not
great.
fetch at the end of his turn. So
He did not fetch at the end of this turn, which is completely correct because he needs to draw his 3rd land.
Yes.
Not fetching is correct because you don't want to reduce the odds of you drawing a 3rd land. That is completely right, but the downside of that play by Benny is that now he has to take 3.
Yes. So Yuri is playing his Glimmerwood for his turn, 3 mana available, so he can now equip his Vault Scourge, or play Edge Champion, or do whatever he likes, or just equip and animate a creature and swing for a lot.
Benny has a
Going
one-turn
to do it
window.
like this?
Benny has literally a
Yes.
one-turn window. He needs to draw the land for that Kodagan's command. Right now, it might already be too late now. So 3, 6. So he's gonna hit here for 8 with the Blinkmoth for 1 and for 7 with the Vault Scourge, gaining 7 life, going up to 26 and Benny down to 8 if I got the maths correctly here, which I think I actually do here.
So Benny needs to get one other land, which is not a tapped land, like all of his man lands, Treat of Village and the other land. I cannot remember.
It's called
the name.
Raging Ravine,
Raging
but here
Ravine.
he's revealing the
Yes.
Verdant Catacombs. There is still a shot, but the thing is he's still down very
8
far.
life,
But
and-
those Ornithopters are not doing much, so what he can do here now is shatter that Cranial Plating and kill a creature, which might be good enough. Do you think, does Yuri have any additional cards in hand, or is he Hellbent at this point? Why is he doing it main phase?
I'm not quite sure why he's doing it main phase, because otherwise he... Yeah, no.
But he drew another land, so now, because obviously he plays the Blackleaf Gifts, because otherwise he can't do that anymore.
Sure.
But now he has a 4th land in hand now as well. But doing it main phase is actually very nice. Do you know why?
No, why? What do you mean?
Stubborn Denial,
Oh,
man.
sure, of course.
We
Wow.
just in regular Affinity mode. Very handsome play by Benny.
Sorry. Yeah,
Nice
hands up
job
play,
here,
yes.
Benny. We would have missed it. Because, yeah, against regular Affinity decks, there is no point doing it. You're like, just let them untap, let them commit to their attacks, and then choose the best creature to kill. But Benny rightly, he saw Stubborn Denial, he played around it. And now we have to see what Yuri can do here now.
Edge Champion?
Yeah, he can play Edge Champion, which is...
Or he can attack with 2 of his creatures. But... What?
Hey, just for 1 poison
well-
and 1? Okay, this is not amazing here. Why is there no Edge Champion deployed, do you think?
Interesting. I do not know.
Because but the Bob, because he just wants to race, but he just wants to race immediately.
But it was
that
just
is a
1
risky
point of
yeah.
damage, and Edge Champion has like protection from all colors, so he could
Yeah.
attack easily into anything. Doesn't
And
really
also
matter.
that Dark Confident here, just revealing a 3-drop is also not perfect here. We
Nope.
see that Verdant Catacombs here. Liliana can just come down here and plus, right? Then you go
Yes.
down to 3. Is the Edge Champion the last remaining card in Yuri's hand?
I do
you
not know.
that? If it
because of the
is-
resolution, we cannot see Yuri's hand cards, which are laying down on the black playmat.
Yeah, I never know where Yuri's cards in hand is. They're gone and then they back up again, and then they're gone and then they back up again. Yeah, but it is very difficult to see on that playmat. I think it is somewhere. But
So we do see an attack from Dark Confident here,
I think
because he cannot
yeah,
block.
I mean,
Doesn't
Lily
matter.
Plus, if there's 1 card in hand, is a decent play.
Yeah, but then he will also go on 3 life.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then you kill your Dark Confident the next turn with your Liliana.
Yeah, and he's still threatened by 3 manlands. This isn't a good situation.
Those are 3 Ornithopters. They're not threatening
No,
right now.
manlands.
Ah, yeah, 3 creature lands, but Inkmoth doesn't do much if you get to kill a Blinkmoth. You're at 1 poison here. And yeah, this is, I hope he's plussing here. Don't minus Benny.
Oh, 2
Don't
cards?
minus Benny.
No, 2
Oh,
cards.
there's 2 cards then.
He's
Yeah,
minusing
that's
for
nice.
himself.
He's already killing the Bob now with 2 cards in Yuri's hand. I think this
I just
is...
no. There's 1 card. Is he flipping his 2 cards like this?
Is it just 1 card?
I do think so.
Oh no, if it's 1 card, this is like, if it's 1 card, you need to plus and then minus on yourself the following turn. The minus on yourself play is very heads up, but so right now he's also checking the int moves cannot pump. So I think that was what that question might have been about.
Most likely, yes.
Because then it would have been very bad for him. But right now, there literally was only one card, and he could have just got that Edge Champion out, gone down to 3, and now we see Thought Seizures came in 2, at least on the draw, and we see a super clunky hand here.
Oh boy.
With no good interaction. So this
Not really.
is not amazing here.
No,
Bloodbraid gets taken because Bloodbraid represents the potential for removal, and now the Edge Champion gets deployed, and now how are you dealing with this Edge Champion? You cannot do it.
He should have dealt with it before and risked that he would die. This was the play he needed to make.
He could have just flipped something that would have killed him immediately, but that's fine. You need to play to win. You cannot play to not lose. It's not going to do anything. Yeah, sure, it feels less embarrassing for a second if you're not revealing a 3 and killing yourself with a Dark Confidant, but it doesn't matter. You need to do it. You got to do what you got to do.
If risk is the thing you gotta take to win this match, then you gotta take risk.
Yeah, exactly.
That's magic math.
He could have plus here gone down to 3, not revealed the 3-drop, then minus the Liliana on himself, and then he hopefully would have been able to hit something to deal with that Blink Moth. Not
so
great,
we
but
see
still
a Bloodbraid off here, of course.
Another Bloodbraid off the top here. So what can it hit here? Maelstrom Pulse is nice.
But
there is no additional removal spell. And do you know what? If that Liliana would have plussed the previous turn,
yes.
Even if there would have been another Edge Champion off the top, he's like, I want to hit your Edge Champion, can't do that. Okay,
so he needs to plus his Lidina, and
he's dead on board.
Yes.
He's dead on board. Edge Champion will gain Metalcraft. He will activate 2 Naxai attack with both of them. 3 damage will go through. He's dead on board here because the Metalcraft will happen. So this is
over.
This is over. This is gone. Yuri will not miss that. Never seen him miss something like that before. Won't start now. And yeah, this was very, 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 very close here. Unfortunate for Benny missing the 3rd land drop, but he still got a shot after that. And unfortunately, I really liked the general idea of I need to get rid of my own Dark Confidant, but he needed to risk it for 1 turn to plus because there was only 1 card in the hand and the card was known. It was the Edge Champion, and there is no way he can beat Edge Champion. His deck doesn't have any answers to it except for Liliana on an empty board. No donations, nothing. And so, this is lethal here. He's not even attacking with the other input next. He's just saying, hey, this guy makes Metalcraft. Sure thing, yeah. And Benny's like, yeah, okay. Considering if there's any way out, but he doesn't do anything, and now there's the handshake. Very, very, very close match here. The first game, very, very close in Benny's favor, and this game, it was 20-0 at some point in the end, but if Benny would have been able to stabilize here, he might have been fine then. And Benny's like, the Kolaghan's command was not the issue. The Kolaghan's command was perfectly played. We would have got it wrong here. He played it main phase. That
no,
was
you
nice.
know what he said? I talked to him about it, and he said he needed to play it on turn 3, but he was 1 mana short because he didn't have his 3rd land drop, and he was like, "Oh no, why does this happen?"
But
to
do you know
me?
why?
So
why didn't he
unlucky.
miss that land drop? I know that was the previous game when he didn't play the Dark Confidant 2. That was game 2. But this is the thing. I'm sure Benny lost the finals here. Very, very nice. First time playing JUND, making it to the finals. The Big Thursday night Modern Magic on Vienna. Congratulations to him. Let's see if we can see some sideboarding here for players. And I'm sure he will be able, if he plays JUND again, will able to get some of those fine things better. JUND is a very interactive game. It's not easy to play. It's very, very small edges that you have to take care of.
And of course, big congrats to Yuri for winning Big Thursday Night Modern at MagicCon of Vienna. He did
not
a great
for the
job.
first time, yeah.
Not for the first time. He did a great job piloting the Affinity deck. He's a great expert in it. He played it tons of time, a lot of the times. Sorry, and well, so now we see the 2 players still talking a little bit about their separate choices and having.
We see the Golgari Charm, the Lily of the Last Hope, and the Engineered Explosives came in. So
good cards in his matchup.
There is the second Kolaghan's command, I'm sure came in. There is no way it didn't come in. No. And what got boarded out, we see some Bobs and Lilies got boarded out. So Benny, not a lot of experience with this deck, but very, very solid play by him. great heads of play. There are just some small aspects that he still has to work on and will work on. But yeah, that was like, I was so close. It was so close. Yeah, second Korakans Koban came in, and Yuri with that Blood Moon, not a turn 2 Blood Moon, which is these bees in Affinity, but the turn 3 Blood Moon still proved to be very, very effective here in the second game. Also brought in that Scavenging Ooze, which I like. I'm not sure if everybody agrees with me here. Also corrected Protected is... no, that's just his horse side, but no. Okay, not all of those cards came in. 9 Spellbomb definitely not coming in. And yeah, so that was it with our Big Thursday Night Modern, right?
Thank you for watching, and if you want to comment, do so below. If you like what you see, if you like what you do, if you want to support us, please comment, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, get a notification, and hopefully see you soon in the next video series about the next Big Thursday Night Modern at MagicCon of Vienna.
Also, one short comment here. At this Big Thursday Night Modern of Vienna, out of more than 20 players, we had JUND was the only duplicate deck. We had 2 copies of JUND, and every other deck was a single.
Nice.
So we've got a very, very nice and varied meta. So just come by next time. Also, if you're in Vienna and want to play Modern, we've got a very, very amazing wide meta here. Lots of great decks, lots of nice people and fun players. And also do everything that Michi said. Yeah.
I can agree with you, Walter. So have a nice day. See you soon.
See you guys.